Watching the rich young ruler walk away dejected because he wouldn't give up his finances to follow the Messiah, impetuous Peter reminds Jesus, "We have left everything to follow you." Why did the disciples give it all up? Because they knew Jesus is worth it. Because he's worth it. That's the heartbeat of CityNew, right there. Because he's worth it. We'll leave everything for the sake of the mission. Because he's worth it, we'll count the cost of making disciples who magnify Christ. That's who we are as a church. We are made to magnify, sent to serve, to treasure Christ above all, and to help others do likewise. We stand at a unique place in our church's history. We have the opportunity to expand this kingdom work. 5 years ago, we had an average of 5.4 children during the worship hour. Just prior to the pandemic, we were averaging right around 40. 5 years ago, the average worship attendance was around 115. Whereas in a COVID-free world, we'd expect around 230, double. People are coming to know Christ and growing, being made to magnify and sent to serve. And yet, we have so much more to do. We can't possibly settle or embrace the status quo. We are surrounded by the lost, the seeking, and the skeptical. In 2016, 30% of the people within a 10-mile radius of our church said they had no religious preference. They are the nones we hear so much about in the news. That number has grown from 23% just 10 years prior, which means it has almost certainly continued to climb. And within that same radius, only 12% of the population attends a gospel-centered church. That means close to 90% of the people around us need Jesus. There is work to be done. God brought us to this moment to see and respond to the need. He has given us health and momentum to steward for the sake of his kingdom. The heart of CityNew is to see and respond, to have maximum kingdom impact in our community.
To accomplish the vision we believe God has given us, we want to focus on 3 key areas: forming community, building family, and expanding mission. We want to connect people to authentic, vital Christian community. Most people today need a place to belong, to explore, to ask honest questions and interact with honest answers before they really decide to follow Christ. The pattern used to be believe, trust in Jesus, then belong, find a local church, and only then become, mature, and grow as a Christ follower. These days the order has shifted. People want to belong before they believe and then become. So are we the sort of loving, welcoming community that gives people a safe space to ask questions and investigate Christ's claims? And that phrase, safe space, is important because the space itself truly matters. As part of the renovation, we want to create a sense of welcome, openness, and safety when people step foot in our building. But more than that, we want to make sure people really do move from belong to become. We want the community we form to be the sort of community that forms us in turn. We want to be made to magnify. As part of our renovation, we need to maximize the space we have for the work God has given us to do and explore our journey groups and all the rest. Well, as we've already seen, Kid City is bursting at the seams. That makes sense given the demographics of the community God has placed us in, the community He has called us to reach with the gospel. I hear story after story of newcomers to the church who are here to check out family ministries, first and foremost. And that includes seekers and skeptics who want their kids to have the same experience they had growing up. To keep meeting the needs of these families, we need to expand the footprint of Kid City urgently. Building out a new nursery, creating a new checkpoint will address issues of space, security, and flow, so we can continue to equip parents, reach children, and connect everyone to God's big family. Really, this is the heartbeat of the vision. We want to develop the first 2 areas for the sake of this last one. We want to keep making disciples who magnify Christ so we can send them out to serve others. The entire renovation has guests, seekers and skeptics in mind. From the open, inviting glass exterior to the warmth of the lobby, from the accessibility the elevator offers to the better flow it all creates, we want our church to be as welcoming as possible. At the same time, we know we need to expand our missional focus too. People aren't going to beat down the doors of the church because we put some glass out front. So how can we step up and step out in faith? Part of the CityNew Vision is strategic evangelistic efforts, such as supporting local church planting, compassionate outreach to those saddled with debt, and developing new and greater partnerships with missionaries and other outreach organizations so that we can reach as many as possible, as effectively as possible. This is a big ask. But we believe God's expanded vision for us is so strong, the urgency so great, and the opportunity so rare that our church will give generously to make it happen.
We are asking everyone who calls CityView home to expand their giving over the next 24 months to make this expanded vision a reality. The most important number in this campaign is 100. To fund this vision, we need 100% participation, and while we may not all be able to give equally, we can all sacrifice equally. We are asking everyone at CityView to pray, sacrifice, and give in new ways during this season. As you consider your part in the vision, ask yourself, if someone were to look at how I use my time, my energy, and my money, what would they learn about what I really treasure? What difference do I want my financial commitment to make in my heart and life? Will my commitment change me and push me to make a meaningful sacrifice for the mission of Jesus? Am I living life on mission by helping others magnify Jesus? Am I engaging friends and neighbors on a surface level, or have those relationships been changed and deepened by the gospel? Am I living like He's worth it? When Peter said, "We have left everything to follow you," he knew that true joy and abiding satisfaction would be found in Christ alone. And so he willingly gave it all to gain Christ. Will we? If we believe He's worth it, we'll count the cost too. We'll give ourselves fully to His mission, leaving behind comfortable, consumeristic, cultural Christianity and sacrifice like never before for the sake of our church, our community, and the world. CityNew, because He's worth it.